Hey, welcome to Week in Geek. Sorry, folks. We're a little exhausted from Wizard World. We had a great time. It was a busy weekend. We were on our feet a lot, meeting a lot of you guys. Met tons of great celebrities. It was fantastic. Cram, nice job on the wrap-up.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, hey, how do you spell Neil again? Yeah, it's Neil Adams, Neal, folks. Bad Cram. Hey guys, Dark Knave and Cram here. One of these days we're going to do one of these issues without having to talk about Deadpool, but for now we're going to because it deserves it.
And the reason why it deserves it is because it is now the #1 grossing R-rated film ever, grossing over $600 million. Can you believe it?
That's crazy. That beats The Passion, which was the Jesus Christ movie from some years ago that held that title for a very long time, so congratulations, Deadpool. Also, the writers have come out and said that they have some lessons for Hollywood. These sound vaguely familiar to me.
I wonder where those sound familiar.
They sound familiar because we said them, folks. So they've come out and said, hey, don't just make a bunch of R-rated movies. Take some chances, and if you need to make it an R-rated film to justify the risk, then go ahead and do that, but don't just think to yourself, oh my god, we have to make a bunch of R-rated movies real quick.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Congratulations, Mad Max, on taking home a whole handful of Oscars. I can't even believe this film was up for Best Picture. Personally, I feel it deserves it, but I was just kind of shocked because Hollywood doesn't normally give action films due like that. So congratulations, Mad Max.
And on the other end of the spectrum, Fantastic Four took home 3 Razzies, including Worst Film. In my opinion, the Razzies don't really count unless you actually go and accept them, because that takes some cajones.
I will say, though, I hope the lesson to this is please don't make a sequel. Please let the rights go back to Marvel so they can do something with the first family, because it's been painful. The movies have been painful. Interesting to note that the release date for Gambit has been pulled, so it looks like that film's not coming out anytime soon, and it's been replaced with 2 mystery films. The Dark Knave is going to say it right here for the first time, folks. That's probably going to be Deadpool 2 and the X-Force film, which the Deadpool writers want in on. So we'll see if that comes true, but I don't know what that says for the Gambit movie. It can't be any good, though. Meanwhile, the Suicide Squad is getting a sequel, even though the film hasn't even come out yet, and no one's really even seen it. So that's interesting. DC is putting all their eggs in that basket, and that's going to start filming in 2017.
While we're on the subject of DC, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice is right around the corner. Hopefully you noticed, if you were interested in buying one of those ultimate tickets that Regal was offering, that you already bought one, because as of today, they're already sold out.
And how much were those again?
Those were $100 each. That allowed you to watch the movie as many times as you wanted, all the way up until September of 2016 at any Regal theater. For $100, I mean, if you're a diehard fan, not bad, you know? And on top of that, only 1,000 were made, and from what I understand, they were going to be engraved and everything like that. So it's a collector's item.
Yeah, the tickets were actually metal, weren't they?
Yeah, it's actually a metal ticket, everything like that. So nice collector's item for the 1,000 folks who were able to get them.
Very cool.
On the Star Wars front, we've got a few things coming out about Episode 8 in terms of what the potential subtitles might be. 2 rumors have come out so far. The first one being Star Wars Episode 8, Tale of the Jedi Temple.
Boring.
Or Star Wars Episode 8, Order of the Dark Side.
Better.
Yeah, I definitely like that one better. It fits in with the overall theme that they kind of had, as far as with each one of the trilogy movies, with the second one being a little bit darker overall. And so I could see that one potentially being the title.
Big news if you're a sci-fi horror fan, The Predator has been announced for Don't do that to me. In 2018, so that's exciting news. And also, we got our first look today at the new cast of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And we were at Wizard World and got to meet one, actually. We got to meet the Green Power Ranger, Jason David Frank. Pretty cool guy. That was a nice interview. But we're getting our first look at the kids, and so they're gearing up for that film. And the big drop this week for films is the full version of the Ghostbusters trailer. It looks promising, but it's a little confusing, and I think a lot of the confusion lies in the opening credits. It says 30 years ago, 4 scientists saved New York City, which is not true. Ernie Hudson wasn't a scientist in that film. And then it goes through the actual trailer itself, which leads the question, is it a reboot?
It's really unclear, and it's the flub that everyone is calling out at this point, because no one's really sure how to take that. If it's just a callback to the fact that, hey, this franchise has been around for 30 years, or is there some actual tie? Are we in the same world? Because it seems like, based on the way that they're treating it in the trailer so far, it's as if they've never seen Ghosts before, they've never seen this happening before.
Well, and you add to that the original cast members who were making cameos, but not as their original characters, that leads to some confusion as well. Now, if you've got all of that and just look at the film for what it is, it actually looks pretty promising. The actresses themselves are pretty endearing. I like to see Kate McKinnon in a little more subdued role on Saturday Night Live. She usually plays pretty wacky, big personality characters. She's a little more subtle in this.
The internet lost their collective minds, really, on this today, and some of the things that people were getting outraged about was kind of silly. I was a little surprised that people were complaining about that the ghosts were CGI. If they had the capabilities 30 years ago to do all of the CGI, I guarantee the original movie would have had a bunch of CGI ghosts rather than doing them as pseudo-practical effects.
Yeah, you'll never please the purists, and I mean, they're really doing their best to reach out to those guys. Slimer's in the preview. There's a lot of tips of the hat back to the old school Ghostbusters. Some of the new stuff is pretty cool. The trap is very exciting. The guns are pretty cool. It looks like they start with the wand and it looks like they move to 2 guns. Totally acceptable considering they're bringing it into the modern world. I think it looks like it's probably going to be okay. I just think people are losing their minds because you're just not going to please the haters.
Yeah, you're really not. And I think the biggest problem is that people are nostalgic and it's not what it was. It's going to be a little bit different. And so therefore they immediately go, ooh, I don't like that.
Right.
And they just need to just calm down. Just wait. See the movie. See if you like it. You'll probably find out that it's pretty good.
And as always, Cram and I are going to check it out. We'll have a review for you right here. Meanwhile, on the much smaller screen that is television, Stephen Amell, who plays Green Arrow, has come out to say that he would like to be on Supergirl, following the steps of Flash. I highly recommend that. I think it's great. I like seeing DC give a little love to their characters on the small screen, across channels. With the crossovers, please continue to do so. It's awesome.
Also on the small screen, but streaming, we got another trailer for Daredevil, this time primarily focused around Elektra, helping us to understand the relationship between her and Matt, and also giving us a little bit of a glimpse into who the big bad is going to be for Season 2.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the Hand, which we got a taste of in Season 1. This trailer doesn't give us very much of the Punisher, maybe 2 quick scenes, if that. But again, this one's more focused on Elektra. You can tell they're old lovers. It looks like they're going to get rekindled to some degree, but again, we're in the same tone. We're seeing the ramifications of Foggy's finding out, and it's stark, it's violent, it's brooding. It looks like it's going to be great. Meanwhile, we have some big Gotham news. Is Jerome still dead?
Well...
What?
Well, you know how they introduced Mr. Freeze, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how they had some people who were in some, like, the cryostasis chambers?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of those people that were in one of those cryostasis chambers was Jerome.
I think this is either a play by the writers to have either planned this all along or listened to people like me who were complaining about the death of Jerome, and they're trying to shoehorn him back into the show. And if that's the case, crap! I'm going to have a binge watch the entire season of Gotham because I gave up on him the second that knife went into his throat. I guess we're going to find out.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back this week after being set up by Agent Carter with their season finale that happened this week. And I must say, we actually saw quite a few Agent Carters while we were at Wizard World. I was really impressed by that.
We did.
And so it was good to see a lot of love for the show. Hoping that ABC pulls it back for another season. I think they will. But let's talk a little bit more right now about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, actually some news has come out ahead of its return to the TV screen in the fact that Ward, as we saw in the last episode, was killed by Coulson and then taken over by the entity that Hydra was so interested in, is actually playing the role of Hive. So for those of you who don't know, Hive was introduced in Marvel Comics some time ago, It is a creature that was created by Hydra scientists as a sort of entity that exudes all of the things that Hydra wants to represent. So we'll see how they go in that direction. That should be pretty esoteric and weird, but I've seen some stills of Ward in the Hive persona and it's pretty creepy, so that should be pretty interesting. Also, Agent Coulson might be a villain? Interesting. I'm not usually a fan of fence jumpers like that. Usually, to me, that means the writers are kind of running out of ideas. So we'll see what he means by that. I guess we're going to find out as S.H.I.E.L.D. gets cranked back up. That's going to do it for Week in Geek, everyone. Make sure to check out our Wizard World videos. We've got quite a few up right now. We've got our overview compilation video. We've got one with a Q&A session with some of the participants and some of the audience members that showed up in costume. And we also have a couple of interviews with some celebrity guests. As always, if you want to follow up on anything that we talked about on the show, check out the links down in the doobly-doo. You ready, Crab?
Ready.
Supervillain freeze frame.